One more time, I'm here, you are there, we are far from each other, but we keep the same idea, studying, focus on your studies. Yeah? And today we have a review. We are going to review units 9 and 10. Your pages to study are pages 82 and 83. And you will have some supporting activities as well, right? So don't worry about that. We are going to start checking what we'll be studying today. Our topics are second conditional, present perfect, passive voice, used to, and might. And at the same time, we'll be working the vocabulary about school subjects and animals. So all these activities will be included in our review today. Let's start with some exercises to see what you remember about these grammar topics. Yeah? The first activity, if. Remember that if is the idea of the conditional. You have the first, the second, and the third conditional. Today, let's focus a little more on the second conditional. And the second conditional, the structure is if plus simple past, would plus infinitive. So if you have the would in the second part of the sentence, of course you need to use saw because saw is the past of see. See, saw, see. One more question about conditional. Second conditional. What if a large dog attacked? Attacked is in the simple past. If you have simple past, what do you need to put in the first part? Would you do? Remember that it's important to invert. What would you do if a dog attacked you? Third question. If I were you, remember that movie long time ago, Brazilian movie with Glória Pires and Tony Ramos? They swap places, man and woman. So the name in Portuguese of that movie is Se Eu Fosse Você. In English, we have if I were you. If I were you, I wouldn't buy that bike. So that's the structure you have to use. Second conditional, that's it, no problems. Let's move to our second topic, present perfect. Remember that the present perfect is that kind of tense students are confused about because we don't have that in Portuguese. In Portuguese, we use the simple present or the simple past, and that's it. But if you have this example, in this house since I was 12, don't forget that you have to use since when you talk about something that started in the past and still continue. So since I was 12, I've lived. I have lived. That's why this is the correct answer. We haven't seen my uncle. And you have the time, the period of time, a long time. So when you have a long time, you say for a long time because it's the period you haven't seen your uncle. One more about present perfect. Question mark or question word. What is the question word to talk about duration? To talk about duration, you always have present perfect and how long. Because how long is a quanto tempo. Don't use how much because it's about price or uncountable words. And don't use ever how long time. Okay? And number seven, another question about simple past now. Married for 15 years. Why simple past? Because you got divorced in 2010. You have the definite time, you have the specific past. So the correct answer here is not present perfect. The correct answer is was. Okay? One more question about present perfect or simple past. When John Kennedy died, he already died. We know that he already died. So the auxiliary should be simple past. And the only option here that is simple past auxiliary is did, because did matches with the verb die. You could not say was, and you could ever not say has. Number 9 and 10, we talk about the passive voice, okay? The dishwasher. The dishwasher is something singular in the past, so we have to use Was invented because the dishwasher was invented in 1886. Don't forget something very important, guys. The structure for the passive voice is always verb to be, and the verb to be has to be in the original tense plus another verb in the participle. This verb in the participle, in this case, invented. And the first book in the series was. Was is past passive. You need the verb in the participle. The next verb in the participle is written because the verb is write, wrote, written. Third column, participle. Yeah? The Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa was painted. Who painted Mona Lisa? Leonardo da Vinci, everybody knows. But when you use that in the passive structure, you need to use the preposition by Da Vinci, by Shakespeare, by Ford. It's the person who did the action. Okay? One more topic. Remember when you talked about something that happened in the past? It was a habit in the past, but now it's not anymore. That's the used to. And the structure is always used to plus verb. So when I was a child, I used to have long hair. It's still the same idea, but now in the negative form. Jack likes sports. Jack didn't used to like sports because it's negative when he was in school. Yeah? And the two last questions about grammar refer to the use of might. We talked recently about might. I might. After might, you have to use always the base form. You don't put to, you don't put the verb in the past, you don't put any different structure. Only verb. And the verb here is buy. I might buy Keiko a ring for her birthday. And the last question, Sue. Sue, come. Come is the verb. You need might, but it's negative. So you put might not. You never put to not. You never put not might. You never put might no. It's always might not. Okay, guys, no problems. That's the grammar review. You have some activities at home to practice more. Going to the vocabulary, let's practice a little with this nice exercise. Circle the word that's different. First, I'm going to do with you telling you the correct answer. And you think at home why that answer is correct. Which word doesn't belong to the group? We have butterfly, goat, fly, and mosquito. The word that doesn't belong to the group is goat. Correct. Pig, sheep, cow, or lion? Different word here is lion. Yes, of course. Spider, shark, jellyfish, or whale? Tell me, which word is different? Spider, sure. Scared, afraid, frightened, or fear? Good, it's fear. And math, grades, history, or biology? Grades. Going backwards, why is it grades? Because math, history, and biology are subjects, and grade is not a subject. Grade is what you get at the end of a test, after a test. Scared, afraid, and frightened are adjectives, and fear is the noun or the verb, so it doesn't belong to the same group. Spider is different because the other three refer to sea animals. They are in the ocean, so shouldn't be correct. Pig, sheep, and cow are farm animals, and lion is a wild animal, so it's different. And butterfly, goat, fly, and mosquito, goat's different. Why? Because goat is on the farm. The others are flying animals. So these are the correct answers. Just to practice a little more about vocabulary, write words for the definitions. What is the wild animal that lives in Australia? You know? That one that carries a bag, has the baby, and jumps. In Australia, the kangaroo. And what is the insect that makes honey? The insect that makes honey is the bee. Very good, guys. One more. What is the reptile that lives in rivers in Africa and Australia? Crocodile. Great. And to finish, what is the male cow? The male cow is the bull. Perfect. Okay, guys? Of course, this was very quick, but you have more activities at home to practice the supporting activities. Before that, a school subject that includes physics, chemistry, and biology. Science. And the information you get from your school at the end of each quarter that says how you have done. You know, when you have that piece of paper that tells you all your grades, that is the report card. So this is all about vocabulary. Supporting activities, you will have the video. It's a very nice video about Mara Wildlife. It's a zoo, a different kind of zoo. Also, a reading exercise about dolphins. Don't forget to read that and do the activity. And also, of course, some review exercises. Okay, guys? Any problems you have, talk to me, send me messages. Don't worry about that. And stay home, stay safe. See you next week. Bye bye. Take care.